The city lights glittered like scattered jewels far below Hansel and Gretel's apartment window, a constant reminder of the bustling world their parents navigated late into each evening. Mrs. Miller, a kind but perpetually weary architect, and Mr. Miller, a gentle software engineer often lost in lines of code, loved their children fiercely, but struggled against the tide of deadlines. One chilly autumn Friday, hoping for precious connection, they impulsively packed the old station wagon, promising a magical weekend at Grandma's cozy cottage nestled deep within Whispering Pines Forest. Trust the GPS, kids, their father declared, tapping the bright screen confidently as they pulled away from the curb into the fading afternoon light. Excitement bubbled within the car, a rare bubble of pure family anticipation cutting through the usual tired silence of weeknights. Hansel, ever practical at 12, dutifully relayed the soothing digital voices instructions from the dashboard. Mount in 500 meters, turn left onto Forest Glade Road, he announced, mimicking the calm tone. Gretel, 10 and imaginative, pressed her nose against the cool glass, already weaving stories about Grandma Euro-esque cookies and the woodland creatures they might glimpse. Darkness began to gather like a soft cloak as towering pines replaced suburban streetlights, the road narrowing to a winding ribbon under the dense canopy. Suddenly, the GPS screen flickered wildly, distorted pixels dancing across the map before plunging into an ominous, silent blackness. Dad? Hansel asked, a tremor in his voice as the car slowed. Their father frowned, tapping uselessly at the dark device. Just a glitch, he murmured, but the uncertainty hung thick in the confined space. Believing he remembered the final turns, Mr. Miller pressed on, the headlights carving lonely tunnels through the oppressive darkness. Ancient trees loomed like silent giants, their branches scraping against the roof in an unnerving whisper. A wrong turn onto an overgrown logging track proved disastrous. With a sickening lurch and a grinding crunch, the car sank deep into hidden mud, wheels spinning helplessly. Frantic efforts with branches and pushing only sank the vehicle deeper, with phone signals non-existent and a cold drizzle beginning to fall. The desperate decision was made. Mr. Miller would backtrack on foot towards the last hint of civilization they'd passed miles back. Stay here. Lock the doors, he urged, his face pale in the flashlight beam. Keep warm, I'll be fast as lightning. The children watched, hearts pounding, as his flashlight beam vanished into the swallowing blackness, leaving them utterly alone in the creaking, wet forest. Fear, cold and sharp, settled over them like the mist weaving through the ferns. Hours crawled by, marked only by the rhythmic drip of water from leaves and the occasional, haunting cry of a distant owl. The car offered scant shelter against the deepening chill seeping into their bones. Hunger gnawed at their stomachs. We can't just freeze, Hansel, Gretel whispered, her teeth chattering, summoning courage born of sheer necessity. They carefully locked the car, pocketing the keys, and ventured tentatively into the gloom, guided only by Gretel's small, rapidly dimming flashlight. They stumbled blindly over gnarled roots and through grasping brambles, hope fading with each uncertain step. Then, cutting through the despair, Gretel gasped, Hansel, smell that. A wave of incredible sweetness, like warm gingerbread and spun sugar, washed over them. Pushing through a final thicket, they froze, bathed in an ethereal, soft light. Stood a small cottage, its walls shimmering with colorful candies, its roof gleaming with frosted icing, and its garden path lined with glistening rock candy stepping stones. It looked like a dream spun from purest sugar. Mesmerized and weak with hunger, they approached cautiously. Before they could even knock, the door creaked open. Framed in the warm, buttery light stood not a fearsome hag, but a small, elderly woman with eyes wide with astonishment and deep wrinkles mapping a lifetime of solitude. Her name was Elara, and her voice, when she spoke, was thin and reedy, but gentle. Oh, my dears, lost in this dreadful night? Come in quickly. You look half frozen." The warmth that enveloped them as they stepped inside was heavenly. The interior, surprisingly cozy, smelled overwhelmingly of cinnamon, vanilla, and baking bread, a stark, welcoming contrast to the cold forest while Elara bustled about. Her movements quick and bird-like, brewing hot cocoa in chipped mugs. She explained her unusual home, built it long ago. "A lifetime's work," she murmured. A touch of melancholy in her smile keeps the loneliness at bay, creating sweetness, though visitors are rare. As sunshine in December, she placed steaming mugs before them, the rich scent mingling with the candy perfume of the walls. As the hot cocoa warmed their insides, Hansel and Gretel shared their story. The GPS failure, the stranded car, their father's desperate walk for help. Elara listened intently, her eyes softening with profound understanding. Lost, she whispered, more to herself, "Yes, I know that feeling," while she revealed snippets of her own past, a life touched by deep sadness that led her to retreat decades ago. Finding solace in crafting her sugary refuge, the children saw not a witch, but a profoundly lonely soul whose only magic was baking and the enduring, fragile sweetness of memory. The initial fear melted away entirely, replaced by a swelling sense of compassion for this gentle woman living hidden in the woods. They spoke of their parents, their worries, and their own fears under the ancient trees. Suddenly, cutting through the quiet hum of conversation, came the frantic, distant calls echoing through the forest. "Hansel, Gretel," their father's voice, raw with terror and exhaustion. Leaping up, they rushed to the candy-framed window, flinging it open. "Dad, here, we're here," they screamed into the night. Moments later, Mr. Miller stumbled into the clearing, wild-eyed and muddy, followed by two park rangers with powerful flashlights. He crashed to his knees, gathering his children into a desperate, trembling embrace. Tears streaking through the grime on his face. "We found Elara," Gretel blurted out, gesturing towards the shy figure hovering in the doorway. Explanations tumbled out. The failed GPS, the mud trap, the terrifying walk. The rangers finding Mr. Miller near collapse on the main road. Elara offered them all hot drinks and a warm place to wait for the tow truck. Summoned by the rangers' radio in the warm glow of the candy cottage, surrounded by the scent of sugar and safety, the profound relief of being found washed over them, a warm tide erasing the cold fear. The adventure concluded not with fire or fury, but with profound gratitude and quiet understanding. As the tow truck Euro's headlights finally pierced the clearing, Mr. Miller, holding his children close, turned to Elara. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "for keeping them safe and warm, for your kindness." Elara simply nodded, a small, genuine smile touching her lips. "They warmed this old place more than they know," she murmured. "Promises were made to visit, not out of obligation, but from a newfound connection forged in the unexpected sanctuary of the woods." Driving away hours later, safely guided by the rangers, Hansel and Gretel looked back at the shrinking, faintly glowing cottage. They understood now that getting truly lost wasn't always about a broken map. Sometimes it was about loneliness and being found. They realized, snuggled safely between their parents in the warm car, wasn't just about location, but about the unbreakable, guiding light of love, the only compass that never truly fails, no matter how dark the forest path.